if we're talking about money,
Yeah.
the way I've explained it, you said earlier that money was a tool
Mm.
for the purpose you have.
Yeah.
I've always explained it as money is value
Mhm.
for something or
Mhm.
to something.
Mhm.
And so the conclusion of that point was, if you want to make more money, you just need to find a way to provide more value
Mhm.
or
That's true.
be perceived to have more value.
Mhm.
Am I right, or is there a deeper level on that?
Well, think about it this way. Here's an analogy that I give you, right? If I said to you, right, for example, I've never seen an airplane before, and I want you to go to, I don't know, an airport somewhere and take a picture. You can only take one snap, one photo, and I want you to use that photo to describe as much of an airplane to me as possible. What would you say? And so you can take it from the side where it just shows, I suppose the length, the width of the plane and everything. So that's what an airplane is. Great. But it doesn't show the cockpit, where the pilot sits, and the interior, whatever, where the passengers, you don't show all of that. Or you can take it right from the front where you can just see this big, massive, you can go different angles. And it's kind of like that with money, right? So really and truly, money, there isn't one definition that it's like the be all end all, the absolute definition of what money is, right? However, I would say this: money is an expression of value, right? So it is an expression of value. So when somebody has a lot of money, that person is worth a lot more. It's worth a lot in the marketplace, right? So the person that earned 10,000, 100,000, and £1,000,000, right? This isn't some sort of a communistic, socialistic views here about we need to all be equal here. It's about somebody delivers a value that the marketplace deem that to be worth £1,000,000 versus the other person that only worth £10,000 or so. So money is a value system. It's a value-based system that's purely meritocratic, based on your merits and your value and your skill set. That's one part of it. But also the other side of money is looking at it is that money is something that is used as a tool as well. So what it does is, so we just talked about how you get money. So, but when you have money, what does money do to you? When money becomes the chase, in other words, I need to get money that will make me happy, you're not going to get happy because you made money, the objective sort of the goal itself. Money isn't the goal. It's you have another goal and then money supports that goal. So money becomes a tool because, if I need, as we talked about earlier, I want to retire early, spend more time with friends and family and do all these wonderful things and see the world. Well, every single one of those things is going to cost money. So what I need money as a tool that supports me to do what I want. So it's not so much about, having money makes me happy. It's because I have these purposes in life. Almost every single person that commits suicide, anyone that uses, not suicide, but everyone that's been very wealthy, that made a lot of money, they usually say this, money never brought me happiness and stuff. Because what happened was at some point in their life, there was a shift, if you like, and then what happened is they made money the goal. Money became essentially the god. Like, this is everything. I'm serving this and I'm giving my life to this, and became the chase. And then when they got the money through whatever it means, whether it's being a celebrity or businesses and stuff like that, and then they realized, actually, I can't have enough of it. I need more and more and more. It's for status, symbol, and different things like that. And actually, they got really depressed because the more they had, they never brought them any meaning to life. But that's because, again, they made money the everything. But if you made money the other way around and said, I need money because, I really like, living in Chelsea or Manhattan or whatever, I like certain lifestyle, but that lifestyle cost me £100,000. Then you go out there, deliver your skill set, the value, you get that money, that makes you live the lifestyle. So one side is a value-based system, absolutely. On the other side of it, it's a tool. And the last thing, sorry, Jeffrey, the last thing I would say about money is that, so it's a value, it's a value, it's a tool. And the last thing is that it has life, right? Money has life. And what I mean by life is that money grows. People, whenever you spend money, you kill its life. That's what people don't understand that, right? And that's probably very weird analogy of using it. But if you have money, and then you spend that money, your expenses is someone else's income, right? So when you go to a McDonald's, you give £2 and stuff like that. You gave £2 away, you have less. Somebody else's, they got £2 more. So the whole system is based upon, right, me trying to offer you something, and it's about who's going to give and who's going to take. That's what economies is all about. And therefore, money has life, because if you keep that money, but then you put it into something that helps it, that helps it to grow, it will grow. It has life. It's like having a child. If you have a child, and if you come back, if you have a child and 10 years old, the child looks exactly as it looked from the day one. There's something gone wrong, right? In 10 years, every stage will expect development and growth, and that's what money is. It's not just £1,000 today should not be £1,000 tomorrow, effectively speaking, because it has to grow. So as I talked about the plane in different angles, that's exactly what it is. So these different things, people have to understand it. Money is powerful. And you could even add one more. It has the ability to alter our emotions. It has the ability to change people's feelings. It can make people laugh and then be happy. It can make people cry. It can make people literally, almost take somebody else's life and make people do kind of weird and wonderful thing. I'm sure there's probably a bunch of people who are in jail or arrested because of the love of money and all this stuff. So all of that stuff there is money, and there's probably a lot more that I haven't even thought about, but those few things are very important to me. So just to sum up very, very quickly on that, money has an emotional side. So for me, I try to be always indifferent towards money. Money is a tool, so I'm looking at money thinking, this is the life I want, and how can money serve me? Money is based on value systems, so I'm always increasing my value and different things, but then also money grows. Part of money has to be spent, because I have to pay day-to-day lifestyle bills and everything else. But if all you ever think of, I need to make more money because that allows me to live and have yachts and everything else, your mind's already, that's just not the right place to think of money. And is that, how can I have money so I can expose it to something that it can grow? So as a child, I need, what food do I need to feed that child so the child can grow? And if you think that with money will grow. Why does it need to grow? Because it will feed you back again and give you the freedom and independence that you want. Therefore, as we talked about what money is, it's something that, as an asset, that can give you passive income and let you achieve that financial freedom.
Okay, it's interesting when you said that money has the power to change yourself, because as soon as you said that, it just, we always know it, but it's literally paper. Yeah. Or whatever it's made out of, but yet people, like you said, would kill someone, would go to great lengths just for a piece of paper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That they could just print more if they wanted to, burn more if they wanted to make it more valuable.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's more than just paper, because it's what that does for you. The expressions you can just the thought of, it's just a piece of paper, bro.
It really is. It really, really is just a piece of paper. The best kinds of economy would be a barter system, which is in itself is not sustainable. And in a barter type of economy, what it is that there is no money, so there is no intermediary, there is no form of exchange. We only exchange based on our values of goods. So if I'm a barber, for example, and you're a chef, and if I want food or I want a chef to make me some food, I would have to cut the chef's hair in exchange for some agreement level of food.
Sorry, I'm going to
go for it.
Because I actually saw a YouTube video a couple of weeks ago in Nigeria. In a Nigerian village, they were doing that.
Yeah.
That's the first time I heard about the barter system, where it's literally, you can imagine a Nigerian market, and everyone's got what they have. So someone has beans, someone has meat, and they go wanting something, and they just have what they have. So they go. A lady came with some fruit, and she wanted meat, and so it's literally, how many fruits do you want for my meat? And so it's interesting, because that's where the value definition of money comes in, because you're only going to take something that you want. We can only have the exchange if I see value in that and you see value in my thing. Why does it go from there to paper?
Well,
because I think, sorry, just the last thing, that when paper comes into play, all of a sudden I feel like value's been there's that transfer of value is not there anymore, or is it still there?
Well, it's not so much that I mean we can spend hours here talking about why we had to move from a barter system to more of a fiat system. Well, there's many reasons for that. Simply put, that in anything, the barter system is a value-based system, right? And therefore, if you didn't have certain value, you couldn't essentially participate, right? And so, what does a participation mean? In the study of economics, there's this idea of something called enterprise. Enterprise, essentially, companies or business, how they make money. And the two key functions of enterprise is capital and labor. So what is capital? Capital is money, businesses and stuff. And labor is skills, right? And so if you have skills and you have the ideas and someone else has money, you can participate and make money and so forth and stuff like that. In a fiat system where it's based on paper, most people can participate. It's a fairer system to some extent. But it's not so much that I agree to some extent that, moving from the barter system, yes, it does change the value of money or the perception of it to some extent. But actually, I don't think the issue is money and paper itself. The issue is plastic, right? Because think about it, right? Recent studies been shown, right, is that, consumers, let's say, for example, people that go into shops, right? Or should I say, let me just give you the study itself anyway. Consumers prefer to pay with cards, plastic, so credit cards and debit cards. Even more credit cards. Credit cards are another whole world anyway, more than they like to do with cash. So someone can go into a shop, for example, and let's say they've got £20 in them, right? In cash, in their wallet. But they can use a card, right? Using the cash feels like I'm losing something.
Right.
It's like, oh gosh, if I spend it, I have to break the 20, right? So now I'm gonna have less. Oh, I don't want that. I'm only spending £1. I'm gonna spend £2. So what do? They then use the card, and the card doesn't really has that emotional effect. It doesn't really, you don't feel the pain that much because it just tap and go. And nowadays with Apple Pay and all these other really convenient ways of paying out there, it's so easy. So that emotional pain is removed for obvious reasons. It's better for the retail, for companies, and so to make to make it more convenient for you to spend. And therefore, as I said earlier, your expenses, their income is just a way for them to increase their revenue by you spending more, right? And so that's one of the problems that we have in the money system, is the fact that it doesn't relate, it doesn't sink into our hearts, emotionally. If you had a person, let's say for example, if you can do like some sort of an experiment where you just took you pay for everything in cash, obviously as much of you as you can, maybe your disposable expenses, so your fuel, your eating out, you just give yourself a budget, you have it in cash, you would see how your bad behaviors will be just eroded. It will just go away because you see this amount of money, and every time you go out there, you see it just dwindle. All of a sudden, it just stops you from spending. Even going out there to get a cup of coffee or wherever, this can cost you £3-4 these days. You'll be like, I'll have it at home, or I find you find alternative sources. All of a sudden, behaviors are gone because you can see this finite, this limited amount of money, and you just don't want to waste it because once it's gone, right? So it's not so much that cash. We need the cash-based system, if you like. We just need. Well, I'm not saying that cards are evil or bad or anything like that. It's just all I'm saying that in this topic about in terms of what's better, and obviously perceptions or how we value it more, cards are a bit like the necessary evil. I would say,
So the last thing on the value thing, and this will be maybe a bit controversial, but one of my gripes I have with homeless people. And the caveat is, I'm not saying this for every homeless person.
Yeah.
But I just remember seeing a homeless person.
Yeah.
And thinking, he's begging for money. But in my mind, at that particular homeless person, I was just thinking, if you spend time thinking about how I can provide value, you won't be there. Because I feel like if we were in the barter system, what would you ask for? You would have to ask for something, but in return they would need to get something from you. So in the barter system, you're homeless, all right, fine. Then just clean my thing for a week, and then I'll give you food. But with the money, it's almost like there won't be that exchange, and so
that's a powerful point, man. You're right, absolutely. Because if you think about it, if you saw a homeless person right now and they said, right, they're begging for something, what would they beg for? They'd be like, "What can you do?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know. I'm a barber or something." So they're like, "What? Do you want me to cut your hair?" Do you know what I mean? And if they were asking 10 people for something, and each 10 people gave them something of value, well, what would they have? They probably have a haircut, their toenails clipped. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have a bunch of different things as well. And yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't have any more thing to add to that, really. I think that's just perfect. And yeah, you're right. You know, it would change it.